So it's Danny Flexent here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my good friend, top trainer Peter Fury. Peter, how are you?
I'm all right, Danny. I'm very good, thanks.
Glad to hear it.
Good to hear from you. Good to speak with you.
Yeah, we've done so many of these interviews, and pretty much every time I've said to you in the past, do you want to expand your stable? Are you happy just having a couple of fighters that you can focus on? And you've always been completely content just with your son, Hughie, of course, and Savannah Marshall. And now it kind of took me by surprise a little while ago. You've linked up with another heavyweight in Matty Harris. What makes him so, I don't know, special, I suppose, to warrant you expanding the stable?
I see a lot of natural potential in Matty Harris. I think he's good. He's got a lot of skill set. He's got natural raw ability, and he carries natural power as well. So he's a big lad. He's a modern day heavyweight. He's about six. They say he's 6'8", but I'd say more than that. He's got to be touching the 7 foot mark. He's a big unit. But to be so tall and have the agility he has, then he can do good things because we're looking at somebody who's an athlete as well. But it's the challenge for me is honing them attributes. So he's got work to do on his distance. He's got work to do on his defense. He's got work to do all round. But it's almost he's a young heavyweight, and it's just piece by piece. It's just keeping him busy, keeping him mixing in world-class circles, sparring with world-class heavyweights, and just don't when you're learning, don't worry about making a mistake. Make mistakes and fail because it's only through failure you're going to learn. So these are the things which he's now taking on board mentally and physically. There's a lot of mental work going on because this is what's mostly behind boxing, well, especially when you're starting out.
And with Hughie and Savannah, and also fighters you trained in the past, you seem to have a penchant, if you like, for tall fighters who are good movers, who are agile. Is that wealth of experience helpful when you get someone a bit more raw like Matty?
Yeah, obviously, we've got to look at the picture because to be a world level boxer, you've got to be a good athlete. You've got to have them qualities. It's not just about having a big punch and plodding your way around the ring because you're not going to win world titles that way. That's face it. We are in a sport of skill set and boxing. So if you're a bit ponderous and just relying on power, it's only going to take you so far because when you're at that top level, you're easy to work out, and you'll get fainted, you'll get misstepped, and you'll lose.
And Matty said you first met you a while ago when he came up to spend some time sparring with Hughie. Had he kind of left an impression on you? Did that plant the seed that maybe one day you could work together more?
No, I didn't even give it a second thought. I met his trainer back then. He was a very nice fella. I know Matt come down by himself. I never met his trainer then. I met his trainer at one of the shows, and I think he might have come down. But I've seen him a few times, and he just asked me for a little bit of what do you think he should do, and all I said to his trainer, take him slow. He's a young kid, don't rush him on. So, but look, whatever's happened between them, I have no idea. So it's not something I've played a part in. It's nothing to do with me. So the thing is, he's come, he's asked me, and that's it. He's in the camp, and it's a heavyweight as well with Hughie, so it helps both parties. For Hughie, it's good for him because he can get plenty of sparring in. It's in house, and also it's going to bring Matt on, so it works all round. So it fits, and I told Matt this is not going to be like he thinks it is. Be prepared for a hard road because if you think you're going to be a world-class heavyweight, you think you're going to get there, you ain't going to get there by having a good trainer or anything else. You've got to want it yourself because we can only do so much. We're not getting in the ring, so it's up to him, and he seems to take it on board. But look, early days.
Hmm.
He's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of natural ability, and so far so good. He seems to be applying it. He's listening. It will take time. There's no magic wand with him, and yeah, slowly but surely, he can be, with the right mindset. He can be a phenomenal heavyweight.
He told us that he's actually living in your home at the moment.
He
Do you,
is.
do you prefer it that way? You can kind of keep an eye on him, make sure he's eating right and stuff.
I think it's because he's in Leamington Spa, and obviously the gym's in Congleton, so it's a long way down. So there's no point. Can't be driving backwards and forwards, because it's no good. So he comes down, he trains with me Monday to Thursday, and then he goes back home, and I get enough done in that week, so I'm happy with that.
Is it nice having him around? He said he doesn't actually see you much.
Yeah, because when I come out the gym, it's constant. I've got other commitments, and I've got a lot of workload with a lot of different things going on. So I don't get much time to sit and have conversations. So the time's in the gym, and when the gym's finished, he does talk to me, and I talk to him quite a bit. When we're in the gym, it's for me, it's more about talking than the training sometimes. So we get, but it's all about when we speak. I know what you're saying. There's not much time, downtime where you can just relax and have a chit chat about whatever, because I just ain't got the time for that. But on boxing and how it needs to be, then obviously I put a lot of time in.
Do you ever suggest any fighters, either current ones or old school ones, that he can go and watch on video or YouTube or whatever to kind of, because you said about using those natural attributes?
Yeah, I've told him to look at a lot of the old-time great fighters, especially the taller ones. Picked out quite a few names, and he's pretty knowledgeable anyway. So he's been looking at them. So, but now it's look, it's the mind first. The mind's got to get the hands going. The hands has got to go with the feet. It's all got to be in rhythm. It's all there. You got to ride the shots. When they're coming. There's a lot involved in world level boxing, especially with the heavyweights.
And you mentioned earlier the world-class sparring. He obviously had a fair bit of that before he joined you, and now he's getting it regularly with Hughie. He was telling me that he sparred, Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou, I think Derek Chisora a while ago, maybe when Chisora was even better than he is at the moment. What will that do for him when he's still fighting at quite a low level in comparison?
I think I don't know about his previous spars, but to me, a lot of them fighters is, he's at least he's got in the ring and graced the ring with them, so he can take a little bit from it. But you can't put a fighter in, even in a spar, too deep, because he's not learning anything, because it's like somebody who can't swim good in the middle of the sea. He's not enjoying it, is he? So the thing is to give him spars where it can cope with it, yeah, but it's at a certain level where he's not getting too taxed, and he's not learning, but he's struggling to keep up, if you like, because when you're dealing with world level athletes who's 5 and 7 years ahead of you with all the skill set, and you're brand new to the job, then you're going to start getting picked off, and heavyweight skin bang. So it's not good to put them over the red in sparring, because it's not a tough guy competition, and you can knock a young fighter's confidence. So he's getting the right sparring to build him mentally and physically.
And we mentioned Hughie a couple of times already. We're all obviously eager to see him back in the ring. He's sparring Matty regularly, so he's clearly in good shape. When are we likely to see the comeback?
Whenever we can. We're working on it. I know McKennesy's working on it, so we're just waiting, but he's ready.
Well, that's good to see. And you must be relieved at that as well. It's been a long time coming. He hasn't been well, of course, as well, the health problems. And now he can really have a crack at it. And he's got all that experience and still a young man.
Yeah, he's only just 29, isn't he? So I'm excited for him, but we just need to get him on shows now and get him busy.
What do you think we'll see differently, if anything, from Hughie compared to the first time round in his career?
Yeah, he's. I would say he's a totally different fighter on all fronts, even the style.
Wow.
So it's all changed for him.
Is that just been like a natural evolution, or is that something you worked on? You know, you've got a template. This is how we want you to fight.
I think it's a natural evolution for him because he's a big, strong heavyweight. So he's a different. How do you say? He's a different fella today than when he's boxed before. So it's going to be interesting.
A lot of new fighters have come through while Hughie's been away from the sport. Do you see anything either that concerns you or anything that kind of makes your mouth water a bit? Someone you'd like Hughie to get in there with that think you'd be a good fight for him?
No, it doesn't really matter. I'm not concerned about any heavyweight on the planet. I think I don't work like that. Look, to be the best, you've got to beat the best anyway. So if you're good enough, you'll get there, and if you're not, you'll fail. So it's black and white, isn't it? So the thing is, I don't look at heavyweights as competition for my heavyweights. I just ain't got that mindset. It doesn't work like that for me. So I look at the fights that are made and the fights that's in front of us and deal with that. That's the way I do it, Danny.
I think Hughie said in a recent interview, I think I saw it on Facebook, but he said he would, I'm trying to remember the exact quote, but it's something like, I would absolutely drill or absolutely smash Anthony Joshua. It's apparently the fight that he'd really like style-wise. I think he's always thought that would suit him. Do you kind of go along with that? Do you think that's a good style match for him?
I don't know. I'm not going to even comment on it. Hughie's got to come back. He's got a long way to go. There's no point talking about fights that's not on the horizon. That's a million miles away. So there's no point even going on about it.
Is that a risk in that some people want to put Hughie in quite deep, quite early on in this comeback because of where he's been before?
We have to see. There's a lot of politics going on behind the scenes. So we'll get to the bottom of it. And the main thing is to get him active and get him back fighting. And then let the public decide. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of things going on in the past with whatever. So the thing is to get him on, and people can judge what he's like when they see him.
And then the third member, if you like, of the stable is, of course, Savannah Marshall, splitting her time, I guess, this year between boxing and MMA with the PFL deal. When are we likely to see her out in either of the two?
I believe she could even be in Saudi at the moment with Mick Hennessy. I think they're over there doing some promo work. I think is it Clarissa Box fighting over there or something? Yeah. So I think, and then Savannah Shaw is in Newcastle around June, and we're doing a first MMA fight with Andy Aspinall.
Ah, okay. But you'll still be doing all the striking side, I would imagine.
Yeah, on the boxing side, yeah. At the moment, she's coming to me once a week. So we're still working a lot on the boxing because that's important, not to lose the striking side. And Andy Aspinall's working on the wrestling and the MMA stuff. So, I've got a lot of respect for Andy. He knows his job. Obviously, you can see what he's done with his son, Tom. And, yeah, so it's fantastic. It's good for Savannah as well, and she's loving it also. She likes
Are you an MMA fan?
Yeah, listen, I like the Glory, the kickboxing. I'm very impressed with them shows. Obviously, there's Rico Verhoeven as well in Holland. We're going to his fight on the 9th. We're over there. So I like it. I like a lot of the combat sports and the MMA. I've got to say, I find the MMA though proper. It's grueling and it's dangerous. So, but look, they've got good rules. They don't seem to have hardly many fatalities and stuff. So it seems to be done properly. But yeah, I respect. Ultimately, I respect all fighting.
You said in previous interviews, I think, that Savannah Marshall was more than just a fighter to you. She's like family. Given how grueling MMA can be, is there any concern there from you? Kind of paternal instinct?
I've got no concerns for Savannah because she's a big unit. She's strong and she's very bodily strong. So I think, and by the time Andy Aspinall's looked after her with all of the wrestling and the techniques and stuff and the grappling on the floor, I think she's more than capable of doing big things in the MMA.
Now, we've seen recently a big shift in boxing over to Saudi Arabia. It seems like all the big fights are taking place over there at the moment. Do you think this is a good thing in that there's now an opportunity maybe in the UK for other promoters to come in and really make big fights here?
Yeah, I'd like to see big fights in England. I don't think you can beat a big fight in London, the O2 Arena or Wembley Stadium. You know, we're from here, so, you know, my fighters, listen, you know, money's got to take you anywhere, and I appreciate it. But for me, I prefer big fights over here.
And is that an aim then for you, for any of your stable really, to be in a big stadium fight here in the UK?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, happy days, and all the fans are here. So it suits to put the big fights on here. So it's all about the fans and giving them what they want to see and letting them come out to good fights. You know, it's a long trip. It's a long trip over there to Saudi, isn't it?
It must be hard for a lot of fighters to kind of turn down the amount of money that's on offer from places like Saudi and other Middle Eastern countries, but it's probably not going to last forever. They might be getting spoiled a little bit.
Well, yeah, there's that, but you know, you can't blame anyone. You can't blame promoters, and you can't blame the fighters. You know, if the money's there, it's business, and they're going to go and chase that. But as a sportsman, I like to see the big fights happening over here.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. I believe you're launching a new podcast. Tell us a little bit about that. Not only where we can see it, but what's it going to be all about?
It's going to be about getting people on and speaking about loads of stuff, really. The content. There'll be a lot of stuff to be asked, what a lot of people don't ask. You know, I want to see. You know, there's a lot of people they won't ask because it's look, in boxing, it's like with anything, whether it be in politics, boxing, or anything. People can't ask stuff because it can affect them down the road. You know, I best not say that because it can affect me there, But I'm going to ask anyway. I'm going to ask. It's up to them whether they want to answer me or not. But I'm going to ask, not to be offensive or anything. I'm just going to ask straight questions. Hopefully, get straight answers. And that's basically it, because there's a lot of shit on this. There's a lot of shit that goes on. Not all the time, but there is. And it's nice to get people on. And also from the past, the retired boxers as well. You know, about the careers, how they trained, what they liked in the training, what they didn't like. You know, how was it before a fight? How are they feeling? Stuff that I'm interested in. Stuff that I want to ask, you know, because obviously I've got fighters myself, what we go through in the camps, how their camps was, how they done the preparations and stuff. I'd like to ask, you know, what things did their trainers tell them back then? You know, what motivated them? There's lots of questions to ask, which I'm sure the fans will be very interested in, like I'm interested in.
Will it just be boxing, or will it be people from other walks of life as well?
Probably people from a few other walks of life as well, interesting people with interesting things to say. You know, and even doesn't matter if they're even very prominent people, you know, people that needs a chance that's not high up in anywhere, but got a good product or got a good facility, but hasn't got the platform to be heard or to be drowned it out. You know, these people are all welcome. If I can give somebody a lift on this channel, I'll be doing it. And, you know, where does it benefit me? It doesn't. Financially, it doesn't benefit because, well, it does benefit because we're launching 3 charities, and that's what it's all in aid of. So I think a lot of people will come on this because they're not coming for me, so as it's to help my podcast. It's not about my podcast. It's not about me. It's about, you know, giving good content, and also they're also supporting these charities. So with them coming on the show, they're going to be raising money, you know, so they're helping raise money for this cause. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing morally for them as well to come and do it, because they are raising money and it's good for them. So I think anybody, look, there's a lot of good people out there, and you know, and if it's money for good causes and the money does go there, which it will be doing, then I think we'll get some good content from it.
That's going to be on Boxing Now, the platform formerly known as BBTV, British Boxers TV. If
Yeah.
you had like a dream guest list, so you could get any guests in the world, money no object, who would you like to speak to?
I'll have to. It's very, very hard to say. There's a lot of people that I respect, and I know a lot of people as well. So to put one in front of the other, it wouldn't be too nice. But there's a lot of people that are in the spotlight and they do good product already. So people like that, I'm interested in getting interesting people on. People that I think is interesting. I don't want no boring bastard on there. Who's chat a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Wants to try and promote himself. I just want genuine people on the show where we can talk and have good conversations. Where and they can either say no, I don't want to go there, or we'll go there, or have a chat. It's a friendly chat. It's not like it's not going to be like an interrogation, John.
Not going to lock them in a room and shine a spotlight in their face.
Just going to be it'll be polite, it'll be friendly, and it'll be good to have a conversation, just like we're talking here. That's it.
Do you think people
questions I'm asking are not interrogation questions? I'll ask the questions what I see fit to ask.
Do you think people get more of an idea about your life as well, aside from the guests?
Well, definitely, because I'm sure conversations will come up where it'll touch on back to myself. So I'm happy to answer anything. I've got no secrets at all. So I'm happy to answer carte blanche about whatever it may be.
When do you expect the new podcast to kick off?
Aki's dealing with it, and Chris. So they'll be sorting a lot of the stuff out. They're dealing with all the situation, everything around it at the moment. So we done that interview yesterday.
Yeah.
So they put it out a few hours later. So yeah, they're on with it. So I would imagine within the next few weeks, certainly there'll be something going on, and we're going to do them regular. So there's going to be plenty of content there.
Great stuff. Well, we're all looking forward to seeing it launch. As I said, it's on Boxing Now. Aki, Kareem and those guys at BBTV, or what's formerly known as BBTV. So yeah, we look forward to that. Peter,
this is going to be a channel where where people, if people's disgruntled and not happy about stuff in boxing, this, that, and the other, it'll be a channel where they can speak it.
So there'll be some rants. People be ranting and.
Oh, exactly. We don't mind the rant, do we, Danny?
No, we make money off it, to be honest. Seconds out, so happy days.
Well, hopefully we'll make money for these charities.
For the charities, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Great stuff, Peter. Really appreciate your time. Best of luck with the ventures, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon.
Good to speak with you, Danny. All the very best.
Take care, Peter. See you soon.
And you. See you soon.
Bye-bye.